finally fell asleep. He's kind of in a stinker today, but he's 12 days old today. Okay, so we're gonna do the potato sack pose, and then I'm gonna show you how I kind of work it into my flow. So, sorry, it's so dark. The light's right behind it, so that's not helping. But okay, so on my lap here, oh, there we go. I have 4 wraps. So I wrap 4 times with the potato sack. So the first one, and I use it in my flow. So like the first one is the last pose that I'm gonna do. And then, so I have 4 on my lap with about a foot on the one side and then the rest on the other side so that I can wrap them good. So I'm just gonna dive in and show you. Okay, so the first wrap, sorry, it keeps on, there we go. Okay, so I keep his hands kind of like up on his chest because I'm gonna pull him out. But for now, I'm just gonna wrap them. So, so the top wrap, you're only worrying about his arms and getting the arms down. So just wrap the arms down and tuck it under. Okay, maybe I'm gonna go this way and maybe the light will be better. There we go. Okay, so tuck it under his body and don't worry about the legs so much right now. Okay, and then take the other side up over the shoulder and then around his arms again. And this top one, just keep on going around the arms. This wrap is really big and this baby's tiny, so it's gonna go around a ton of times. But the important part is to keep it really tight because this is how he's gonna be supported in the potato sack poses from the wraps. And just make sure you go over the shoulder and then down around the arms. Okay, then with the second wrap, you do the same thing with the arms. So the first part, I'm just gonna fold over, but now his arms are secure, so you don't have to worry about those as much anymore. Okay, so put that part down and then you want to keep their feet up. And with this second part of the wrap, or the second side, I just take it and go over the feet and then across the shoulder and down over the shoulder on that side. Okay, and then the same thing up over the shoulder and down. And at this point, you have the arms secure, so you kind of want to keep the bulk away from the top from now on. So go down and then around the bum. And up over his legs more. And for this pose, it's a ton of wraps, and they feel like they're huge at the end because you have just so many layers on them, but that's the important part of this pose. Okay, and you don't need to worry about it being pretty because you're not going to see this part. So now we've got 2 wraps on, and this next one is shorter, so I'm just going to do the same thing, just keep wrapping kind of in a figure 8-ish over the shoulders, down around the bum. Well, this was really short, so. Okay, and the last one, so this is the one that I want on top. So this one, you do kind of have to pay attention to to how it looks, because you're going to see it. So the same thing to go across over the shoulder and then around. Got fuzzies in it already. And pull it really tight. And it doesn't really matter a ton what down here looks like, because they're going to be buried kind of in the fur that we're putting them in. Okay, and at this point too, before you get all the way done wrapping, I like to pull out their hands because they can kind of get tight in there. So before you're completely done, you want to kind of find their hands in there, and don't don't like pull their hands out, but kind of guide it out and push on their elbow. I guess you should push on their elbow down here to kind of push them up. I wrapped him really, really tight. Come on, sweetheart. There we go. So just like have them out. You don't need to worry about exactly how they look. Then finish wrapping. Okay. Make sure you get all of the under wraps covered too on the top. Okay, so there he is, all wrapped up super duper snug. Okay, so at this point, I just kind of mess with their hands. Got fuzzies all over. So I pull out their hands and make sure, or they're already pulled out, but I make sure that they're like flat and sitting how I want them. One finger that he wants to bend. There we go. Okay, so look how cute he is. Oh. Okay, so now I'm gonna move over here. Hopefully you can see. So here's my little setup. I have my fur. Okay, good. You can see that better. Okay, so here's my white noise on my phone. Pacifier. Okay, so in here, this is just a big like tin bucket thing on the ground that I have blankets around, and then like I have a mixing bowl down in here, and so he's gonna be like down in this bowl. I've also seen people do this with like a bean bag, like a just like not a posing bean bag, just a regular like get at Walmart bean bag that's not quite full and it has a well, and it's super awesome. Okay, so there's this like deep hole, and you just set this baby in there and kind of like push it down and get the fur all around. Let me move this. It's like right here. There we go. Okay, so usually I have this like stuffed enough where they'll just sit here and be okay, and I always have like their parents come over and help me, and if they don't if they don't stay, so he's not really staying super good, so I have them hold right here and I take a picture, and then I have them hold down here and I take a picture and do a composite in Photoshop. So that's the safest way to do this pose. And since I don't have an assistant right now, I'm just here by myself. See, he will sit up there by himself, and most babies will, and you can kind of do that, but the composite is the safest. And since I don't have an assistant here to stay like by him and watch him, I'm just gonna like set him back a little bit. And need something for his head. Yeah, so since I don't have help, I'm just doing it this way. And if you do have help, you can do the other way and this way, and it's a good way to get a variety without like moving them. So I want to see a little bit more of his hands. Okay, so he's like all comfy in there. So I have my light that's just kind of 90 degrees from, oh, sorry, you can't really see, 90 degrees from where he's sitting at. So I'm just going to take a few pictures. Oh. Where are you going, bud? Where are you going? Okay, and then I always will usually add a hat to get some variety out of it. Oh, thanks, Rachel. I think he's pretty cute too. So add a cute little hat. I also really like to shoot in the shadows, so just lean a little bit towards the shadow side. So that's okay. So I don't know if this is going to show very good. Probably not. Sorry, guys, but I'll post some of the final images so you can see what we kind of got. Okay, so then from here, I love doing this pose first because I've never ever had a baby that doesn't fall asleep in it. They just love to be wrapped up so many times, and so So I do this one, if I'm planning to do the potato sack, I'll do it first. And then babies all um, it like calms them down and they get super sleepy. And then you have all of these wraps underneath where you can just take it off and move to a different setup. So I will do this one, and then I take this top wrap off. I'll show you, and I'll do a prop pose, and then I'll come back and do some on the bean bag. So it's 3 different setups that can be super fast, and babies love it. So I'm just gonna move my light and move over to the prop setup, and I'll show you that one. And then just let me know if you guys have any questions. Okay. So just sit and look at my cute baby while while I move this really quick. Okay, I'm moving you. Don't get sick. Okay, so here is the little prop setup. Okay, so take the hat off. Just gonna unwrap this top wrap that we did. And this other one. I do 4 wraps to keep them stable in the potato sack, but I usually only do 3 setups from it, but you could totally do 4 setups with 4 different colored wraps too. Okay, so now we have this cute green one. He woke up, or he's trying, he thinks he wants to be awake maybe. And in these ones, it's totally okay if they're awake too, because they're completely wrapped and they can't move. So it's kind of fun to get their cute eyes in some of these too. So it's like a totally no stress setup, because most babies just love them, and you can get lots of things from it. Okay, so I'm just gonna set him in this bucket. I might need some stuffers, but let's see. Can't really see. Okay. There you go. Is that better? Okay. So I stuff him in this bucket. This is a bean from Bianca Hubbell Newborn Poser. Is that what it's called? I don't know, but I love her stuff. Don't need them that big, actually. Sorry. Oh, he's not going to give up his hands now. Okay, so I'm just, oh, sorry, I'm kind of sick and it's like in my voice, so hopefully we can get through this. But, so you just want to prop him up. I'm just stuffing things behind his head so that he's supported in there. You want to make sure that they're like nice and comfy, and see how his like, there's a space right here, his head is like back like this. So you just put the stuffing back there, and that's the key in newborn photography, is like you just put stuffers and posers in until they go how you want them. Okay, so see, now there's no space between his hands and his chin because we just put something back there and it works. Okay, so now we're gonna straighten out his fingers. Straightening fingers, man, is hard. Who's with me? But a trick, if you put your finger like underneath and tap on their hand to kind of get them to relax. Might not do it. Oh man, you stinker. There we go. Okay, so he's all in there. Okay, and for this one I like to feather my light, so I have it like out from him so that the end of my umbrella over there is like barely to where he's at, so the light like feathers off over here. And then I like shadows, so I like to keep it like right over to his side instead of like in front. And you don't need a ton of stuffing in this bucket. Like the only thing that's in this bucket is this burlap layer, this knit layer, and then the stuff that I put behind his head. So you don't need to like go crazy with the stuffing. Oh man, he is cute. And I always like to shoot a little bit above too, like down the bridge of his nose. And get close-ups. This is a really good pose if you do macro shots to get like their eyelashes and everything because they're just contained and happy. And you can see their cute hands. Okay, so that, so those are two like super quick poses that I just did. And from here, I would just take off this last wrap and put them on the beanbag. And I would do the same kind of like all the way wrapped, put them on his side on the beanbag. And then I will like take off some of the wrap and do so you can see his legs and his cute arms, you know, that one. I'll do that on the beanbag too. So that's like 4 different poses and they're just happy and it takes you one time wrapping and then just taking off all the other wraps. So it's super easy. So thanks for watching, guys. I might go live again in a minute if I have a cute pose that I want to show you with him. So Roxanne, I'm using the Sigma Art 50mm. That's my favorite lens. I pretty much don't take that off for newborn sessions. So yep, that's my favorite. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, just post them in the comments and I'll answer them. Or if you have any tips or anything that you want to share too, go ahead and do that in the comments. So thanks guys, see ya.